Hey, Steve Riley, welcome to another episode of Great Practice, Great Life. And today I have attorney Michael Maddux with me. Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you, Steve.
So let's talk a little bit about your practice, and we'll talk about this really cool marketing scorecard that you've created. So tell everybody a little bit about your practice, where you practice, what your favorite type of case is, what you like to do, so they can get a sense of who you are and what you're doing.
Sure, Steve. So I've been practicing 33 years now, and I went to the University of Florida and went to Florida State undergrad. So I diversified my portfolio of education, but my real education came when I was working as an assistant state attorney here in Hillsborough County. And then I eventually worked for the Attorney General's office and prosecuted there. And honestly, probably got what I'd call an Atticus bug early on, but had no clue what it was. And it was just a bug to do something different, not be hanging out at the state offices talking about when my pension was going to invest in 5 more years. And I just basically hung a shingle, did everything by myself for quite a while, and then eventually started to diversify my practice. Of course, at first it was all criminal because I knew that from my criminal prosecution practice that I did for the state. And I started learning how to do other kinds of cases like PIP litigation that I took from other successful lawyers that didn't want to do it anymore. And then I started realizing they were making real money in personal injury. And then I started listening to my criminal clients for opportunities to do a personal injury case that might be in their wheelhouse of relationships. And as I went through that, uh, I really just started enjoying the personal injury and the diversity. And I realized I needed staff. I added staff, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And I heard about this Atticus stuff all along, and I kept sort of pushing it off. And it was really late in my career when I did Atticus, but by then I'd added probably one of my most interesting practice areas, which is civil rights litigation. And frankly, I just grew that off of going to a CLE at Georgetown to visit a good best friend from law school. And after 2 days of hearing about Constitution, the Fourth Amendment, police misconduct, I was like, I'm doing that. And it fit well because I knew a lot of my criminal defense friends had leftovers from great outcomes. Hey, this guy got falsely arrested. I told him, hey, just be glad that we beat your case. Or they served an illegal warrant at this guy's house and there was no real remedy except suppression. And I started saying, no, there can be more to this. Excessive force was something that people didn't know how to reconcile. And I started asking my friends, hey, send me these cases. I want to work them. And it's really a pleasure and an honor to be one of the few people in my community that does civil rights litigation the way we do. And I've worked my team up to do that. We have a chief of the civil rights division of my firm, and that's what she specializes in. We have a personal injury unit, and then we have a criminal unit. And along the way, I got board certified in criminal trial law. One of the funnest things I ever do every now and then, Steve, is I will help my personal injury friends represent their clients that have a criminal case that needs to get resolved so they can get the full value. And I actually get to take a letter of protection um, on their personal injury case for my criminal defense work that adds value to their PI case. And I'm not a threat, I'm a help.
The big question a lot of people are wondering, have you gotten new business from it? Has it made you any money?
I would say absolutely. And let me give you a few metrics because what you measure, you can change. And last year, we were really determined to grow our personal injury portfolio. And we made a real charge at the end of the year from November to December. We wanted to have over 100 cases, and we were at about 80. We got to over 100 in the last 2 months. And as we sit here now, Steve, at the end of this year, we are at 180 and hopefully closing 200. And it's the same staff level.
Got it. So what you basically have done is doubled your plaintiff's cases, your PI cases, inside of a 12 to 24-month period.
Correct. And this year we had 100,000 more in criminal defense revenue than last year.
All right. So I think that's good metrics. I, I think we've increased one department by 100 grand. We've doubled our PI cases, our costs are the same, and we've done that without any significant increase in advertising. Is that a fair statement?
It is.
Yeah, I think you more than earned back uh, 20 $75 cards. If I'm doing my math right, I think that was a great investment on your part, really great investment. More importantly, um, let's talk about how it shifted the mindset of the team. I mean, to me, I think that might be the biggest win.
It really has. Everyone's grabbed onto it. People are having fun. You said the word gamify earlier, and we have gamified it. People enjoy games. People enjoy being in charge of their own destiny, Steve. And you could do as much as you want to. If you're exhausted and don't feel up to the marketing, then, you kind of take a break, maybe get 1 or 2 points. If it's not really your style, then you don't have to be obsessed with it. And I'm not judging my staff for how many cards they turn in. I will talk to anyone who's not participating. I don't have any non-participants right now. So that's a beautiful thing. There's certainly levels of participation. And one of the nice things about it, going back to what I originally said, is you can customize it. Like, there's one 4 pointer that I wanted to explain real quickly to the audience. It says, planned a segment for reaching for the top. Okay. That's like Greek to somebody that doesn't know that, but I want to unpack that real quick, Steve. Reaching for the top is what we've internally named training on Atticus style concepts. So, for example, we had today on the team meeting, I asked one of my paralegals to go through with AI and analyze our phone call data for the last 11 months from our phone call service. And this year we had 130 more calls in November than last year. And
Wow.
wow. So this stuff is working. And the reason that I mentioned him analyzing that is he had to drill into it. He had to look for patterns. He had to say what we're going to expect in the future based on the patterns. And that is really a system analysis. It's an interruption to his paralegal duties, but it's a Stephen Covey quadrant 2 all the way. Right. And so when he does that, he is presenting within the realm of what we call reaching for the top, which is things that improve our firm at those core system levels. And that's a 4 pointer on the marketing card, because even though it's not outside the firm, it's empowering the people in the firm to be better assets to the firm. And in my opinion, that is a marketing event.
There's a lawyer listening to this right now saying, I don't have the time. I just don't have the time to move this marketing scorecard forward. What would you tell them to do to get started?
I would tell them this is a delegation move, because all you're giving is your staff 3 sheets of empowering paper and ordering some gift cards. And the idea works because it gives traction to marketing within your people that may otherwise be lost on how to do it, gives them very specific things that have point references. Then it's all individualized. So this is just get it off your desk. And because remember, it's a who, not how. The who is your people, and you're just giving them 3 sheets of paper. And if they mess it up or they miscount, or you're like, why do you only do one thing 50 times? Who cares? You still get 50 points, and it's still generating in your immediate marketing environment discernible results.
Well, let's spend a moment right there on who cares. Say more about that because that's important.
Well, the who cares? Okay. Because as lawyers, we all have our personalities that think our way is the best way. And
I'm
then
shocked by this. Our way is the best way. I'm shocked by this piece of information. Shocker.
exactly. And then we try to put our style on other people and then expect they're going to perform the same way. But yet we know they have a different disc score. They have a different Myers Briggs. They have a different genius score. And yet we're telling them to do our way. And what we've learned, Steve, through the Atticus training, I feel like I have, is that that's a prescription for burnout, right? When you're forcing people to do things not inherent in their nature, you burn them out. And like the working genius says, you can take a galvanizer and stick them in a different seat, but if you don't bring them back, they're going to leave or do a miserable job because they can only tolerate so much of what is not their ideal suite. Here, you've got such a variety that they're going to go to what works for them. And that's okay. Like they don't have to learn how to do all their weaknesses better to have a good marketing scorecard.